Game Week 32 is a popular time to use the wildcard, and a potential draft team has been highly requested. The option to wildcard later remains an alternative route that you may want to keep open, but here's a look at a potential draft for those who've already decided to activate their wildcard. It's difficult to do this when the Double Gameweek fixtures are yet to be announced, so this draft is simply based on the straightforward scenario where all Blank Gameweek 31 fixtures go to Double Gameweek 34, and all Blank Gameweek 35 fixtures go to Double Gameweek 37, but bear in mind that may not be the case. You'll also likely need the free hit chip available for a team such as this to use in Game Week 35, when a number of these players will be without a fixture. David De Gea is the man selected between the sticks in this potential team, ahead of the home fixture against Swansea in Game Week 32. Manchester United are set to feature in 2 double game weeks to play their postponed fixtures against West Ham away and Bournemouth away. They've kept an impressive tally of 15 clean sheets this season, which is on par with Man City. No team in the league have managed more. Priced at 4.4 million, Matthew Lowton is a handy budget defender to end the season, with Burnley set to feature in 1 double game week. They still have home fixtures against Leicester, Brighton and Bournemouth remaining this season, as well as some favourable away trips too. Only Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, Man City and Man United have kept more than Burnley's 11 clean sheets this season. Marcos Alonso has 6 goals to his name, and Chelsea have kept 14 clean sheets, just 1 fewer than Man United and Man City. Having only registered 3 shots from inside the box over the last 6 game weeks, with none hitting the target, the wingback is perhaps a luxury, but Chelsea have 2 double game week fixtures to come, against Burnley away and Huddersfield at home. Having returned from injury, Eric Bailly is perhaps a more reliable way into the Manchester United backline than Chris Smalling, so he's selected for the double up with David De Gea. After his 4 goals against Watford, there's little doubt over whether or not to keep Mohamed Salah, despite Liverpool being without a double game week this season. He's still to face home fixtures against Bournemouth, Stoke and Brighton, and is likely to remain a standout captain option for the remaining weeks, aside from the double game weeks. Heung-min Son looks set to continue playing out of position as a number 9 for Spurs, in the absence of Harry Kane, who remains sidelined through injury, and isn't certain to be back for double game week 34. Over the last 6 game weeks, only Salah has taken more than his 10 shots from inside the box amongst midfielders. Leicester's Riyad Mahrez is another popular midfield option, and rightly so, having produced 2 goals and 1 assist during his last 3 games, between Game Week 28 and Game Week 30. Over that period, no midfielder took more than his 7 efforts on target. Leicester's 2 double game weeks will see home fixtures against Arsenal and Southampton be added to their schedule, which already includes trips to Brighton, Burnley and Crystal Palace, as well as home ties with Newcastle and West Ham. Finally, Marko Arnautovic takes up the final starting place in the midfield, although Chelsea's Willian is an alternative option. The West Ham man tends to be favoured as a forward through the middle, similar to Heung-min Son at Spurs. West Ham's form is the concern here, with the Hammers having scored only 4 goals during their last 4 games. Only 5 teams have scored fewer over that period. But Arnautovic has racked up an impressive tally of 7 shots on target during those last 4 matches, between Game Week 27 and Game Week 30, on par with Mahrez and Willian, and no midfielder has managed more over that period. One of the key decisions to be made up front will be whether to stick with Roberto Firmino or not, given that Liverpool will not have a double game week. Jamie Vardy is an alternative, as is Romelu Lukaku, for those who can stretch, but Liverpool have scored 16 goals over their last 6 matches, almost double the 9 goals managed by Leicester and Man United in that time. Arsenal's Aubameyang is hard to ignore as a premium forward option, with home fixtures against Stoke, Southampton and West Ham to come over the next 4 game weeks, as well as a fixture away to Leicester to be rescheduled. During his time at Arsenal so far, between Game Week 26 and Game Week 30, he's contributed to 4 Premier League goals, scoring 3 times himself. His 7 efforts on target in that time is on par with Sergio Aguero, only Harry Kane managed more amongst forwards. Finally, to complete this potential wildcard draft team, Glenn Murray is selected as the 3rd forward. He's not as flashy as some of the other options perhaps, but he's much cheaper, and that's something that needs to be considered with a team that you're preparing to bench boost. The Brighton forward has scored 11 Premier League goals this season, with 5 coming in his last 6 matches, between Game Week 25 and 30. During that period, Murray's tally of 9 efforts on target was more than Firmino had managed, and equal with Sergio Aguero. Again, only Harry Kane had managed more amongst forwards. This potential draft has been made with a view to using the bench boost in Double Game Week 34, so the bench contains a couple of reliable options. Swansea's Lucas Fabianski and Kyle Norton have been selected, with a home fixture against Southampton to be rescheduled for their double game week. Swansea have kept 9 clean sheets this season, ranking them 8th best in the league. Burnley's Goodmanson could perhaps be considered as a 5th midfielder, priced at 5.1 million. He's provided assists in each of his last 2 matches, contributing to a total of 9 Premier League goals this season. Goodmanson has started each of Burnley's Premier League games from Game Week 10 onwards, producing a tally of 45 attempted assists since then. Only 6 players have produced more, with De Bruyne, Hazard, Ozil and Eriksen topping that list. Finally, Newcastle's Paul Dummett is a cheap double game week option for the bench, priced at only 4.2 million. There are a couple of handy fixtures in that time, at home to Huddersfield and West Brom, but mostly this is just a pick for those on a tight budget. The double game week fixtures are likely to be tough, with Spurs away the game to be rescheduled. So that concludes this wildcard draft. Be sure to comment below with any changes you'd make and the players you're considering. Also remember that Game Week 32 might not be the only time to wildcard. Game Week 33 and even Game Week 36 could be good alternatives, which we'll explore on the channel in the coming weeks.